Welcome back to your soon-to-be favorite podcast. I'm Angelica.
And I'm Kelsey.
And this is
Here We Grow.
It has started.
Hola.
Hello.
¿Cómo está?
Muy bien, ¿y usted?
I was asking the people.
¿Cómo están ustedes? No yo, claro. Obvio. Duh. Of course you weren't talking to me. Was telling me? Oh, fuck.
What's up, guys?
Hi.
We're back.
How are ya?
How was your week?
How was your weekend?
How was your holiday?
How was your birthday?
It was really good. We had a good weekend.
Yeah, me too.
A really good weekend. I got a lot of quality time with Cash. And I feel like I didn't know I was missing it until I got more of it. We had a dance party. Me and Cash.
Cool.
By ourselves. Travis had to go to his mom's house to help set up her cookout for Memorial Day. And me and Cash stayed home until it was time for us to get ready to go. And Cash just likes dancing. So I was like, oh, you want to dance? So I put on a song for him. And I'm like, let me just get up and dance with him. So I did. And we did that for like 4 songs probably.
I love that.
It was very much fun. He's definitely in a phase now where he likes to be like up and running around and acting crazy. He likes to grab my hand when I'm just standing in the middle of the living room and like make me twirl him around and like kind of like whip him around by just holding his hand. Yeah. And he'll go like, whoa, whoa. It's so funny.
Sounds like a ghost.
Yeah.
A ghost being twirled.
Yeah. He's doing so much new stuff now. I haven't talked about Cash on the podcast for a long time.
Yeah.
He's doing so much new stuff now. He's understanding us so much better. Like if we ask him a question, like he comprehends it and will answer sometimes. And he calls me mama, which that's been a long time coming. What else? He says he can say hot dog. I was like, hot dog. That's how it sounds like. But yeah, he's doing a bunch of new shit and I love it.
Good.
He's been really good lately too. So he went to the store with me today, which is normally a nightmare, but he was really good the whole time. He's good in the car, he's good in the store.
Oh, good.
Wasn't acting crazy or nothing. Got him a bag of goldfish and he ate it for like the halfway mark into the store all the way home. So, but yeah, my birthday was good. The only part that sucked was that the Pacers lost.
Yeah, they're out. They're out.
You guys. I am having basketball withdrawals.
Do you still watch basketball?
Well, now the finals don't start till next Thursday.
Who is it?
The Mavericks and the Celtics.
Okay, so like, all right.
Yeah, so next Thursday there will be a new series, 1st to 7 games, or 1st to 4, whatever. And best of 7 was what I meant to say. Best of 7 or 1st to 4. And then in June will be the NBA draft. We can watch that. And then in July will be the Summer League and the Olympics. So there will be a little bit of basketball. But then after July, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do until October.
Football.
No, I refuse.
Absolutely not.
I hate football so much. And I'm sorry for the football fans out there, but it's literally, I cannot keep my attention long enough. That's what it is. Like they stop every 5 seconds.
Oh, you're not going to like baseball, huh?
Oh, no. I don't like baseball either.
Dang.
If anything, I like the environment more.
Same.
Like going to get a hot dog. And
Yep. I catch myself
the
just
music
vibing,
and
being there, not even paying attention to what's happening.
It's kind of like a picnic.
Yes, kind of like a picnic.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you get lawn tickets. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I and you know what? I would prefer sitting in the lawn at a baseball game than being front row at a football game.
Damn.
Like I'm not interested in football whatsoever. I don't understand it. Obviously, I'm not like trying to understand it, but it just does not keep my energy, my attention long enough. And that's why I like basketball, because it's literally back to back to back to back action.
Mm-hmm.
I catch myself even like, especially in the playoff games. I feel like there's a lot more timeouts or like a lot more stopping to like check a call to see if it's going to be a foul or not.
Mm-hmm.
I catch myself like, oh my God, this game has so many timeouts. And then like I'm getting bored. Like I need to, like y'all need to.
Oh my God.
Let's bring it back. Let's bring the action back. But luckily the playoffs are full of action. So.
Do you remember the beginning episodes when I would fall asleep? I'd be like, I'm like Angelica. I'm like, mm-hmm.
That wasn't that long ago.
That was a year ago.
You were falling asleep during Kathy's episode.
No.
Which was like 32.
I was on the couch.
And?
I was very sleepy.
Yes, you were.
As I am right now.
Yes. Angelica's eyes are so red.
But I'm going to push through it. They
Okay.
get so heavy, bro. I'm like, oh my
I can
God.
tell. You need to do some jumping jacks.
No, my eyelids are doing push-ups right now as we speak.
One.
Do you have a quote of the week?
2. Oh, I did have one. Oh, here it is. All right, quote of the week. I was waiting for the come down of the yawn. Quote of the week. You're not obligated to have a relationship with another adult if it's not healthy for you. Yeah, but no, but you're not obligated to have a relationship with another adult if it's not healthy for you.
Period, sis.
We told a friend of ours this recently, or I did anyways.
Oh.
Don't let someone guilt you into thinking that you owe them anything, that you owe them staying in a relationship with them, that you owe them a part of yourself. Mm-hmm. Don't let anyone make you believe that. You are your own person. You have your own desires, and you are allowed to walk away from a relationship that is not serving you. Mm-hmm. Even if they try to make you feel guilty for it, you're allowed to walk away from a relationship that is no longer serving you. Whether that's familial, romantic, friendship, whatever. Situationship. Do not let anyone make you believe that you're just giving up or that you didn't try hard enough. You can throw in the towel whenever you're ready to throw in the fucking towel.
Whenever you're ready.
Fuck you. The other thing I was going to tell you was I downloaded a book.
Okay.
That I've started reading. And when I tell you the name of this book, you can be like, that's not very on brand for you. Psychology for Dummies.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about, like, wanting to broaden my understanding of the mental health field.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm like, I need to, like, read a book about psychology. And then I was like, but it can't be like psychology textbook because I'm not going to understand any of it if I'm not in a psychology course.
Right.
So I'm like, I need it to be like in lay terms. I'm like, oh, duh. I'm sure they have a For Dummies book about psychology. And sure enough, they do. They have ADHD for dummies too.
They have
OCD for dummies too.
Oh. I used to think that those books would like offend people. Uh-huh. But then I started picking up that it's a brand.
Yeah, it's just a brand.
I was like, damn. Like, I would see people reading at the library. I'm like, you fucking idiot. Yeah. You dumbass.
Yeah, I've never read one before, one of the For Dummies books before, but I actually really like it. Like, it's easy to understand. They break it down into, like, digestible chunks. And so I think I'll read more after this one, but I think this book is going to end up sparking more topics for the podcast. That's another reason why I wanted to do it. I wanted to broaden the mental health topic area in which we can cover. But speaking of mental health, how y'all doing?
When was the last time you cried?
Ooh, let's see. Last time I cried.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think, too. Like, cried.
Yeah. Last time I cried.
Still my stretched one. I think I already said that on the podcast when I was stretching. No?
I said already. No. What are you looking up?
I texted somebody.
Who'd you text? Because it wasn't me.
Yeah, I don't know. Now that
Did you dream it?
No.
Did you?
No, but I did have a weird dream last night. Okay. Oh my God. Thank you so much for bringing this up.
Okay. Are we skipping over the stretching thing? Are you going to come back to it?
Yeah, we'll come back.
Okay, what's your dream about?
Okay, so in my dream or nightmare, this girl approached me and she started talking to me about her life. Then out of nowhere, we're on a farm. Across the street, there is my family in a house, okay? Then Bolin runs up to us to try to get my attention, and another dog appears out of thin air and tries to play with Bolin.
Okay.
At first, I thought it was cute, but then I started getting this weird feeling, and I keep looking back at the house with my family, and the girl keeps sending the dog to push up on me to like distract me from looking at the house.
Okay.
And so I start to get suspicious that she's trying to distract me, like I said. And then she sends Bolin. Then she sends Bolin away, and that's when I realized. Wait, what? Then she sends Bolin away. And that's when I realized she was actually a demon, and I turned to run to the house, and she takes off flying after me, and then I woke up.
That's scary. That's very scary.
I know. I was like,
especially because everyone you love was in the video or in the video
in the house. Yeah, and like she like pulled me to the side, and then we were at the farm, and then I look back and there's my family, and she's like talking to me, and I'm trying to like listen to what she's saying, but I'm also like, what's going on? Like I keep looking back, and then like when that dog appeared, because Bolin ran up to us, and then she just like went like this with her hands, like a little swoosh motion, and another dog appeared, and that dog started playing with Bolin, and every time I would look at the house, she would like send the dog to push up on me, and I'd, go like that, and I would look at her like, what? And then she like did something, and Bolin left, and that's when I was like, oh no, I don't feel safe here. And then I started running towards the house, and she just took off.
That's scary as hell. Hell no.
She didn't look like your typical. She didn't look like your typical demon though.
She was in disguise.
Yeah, it was weird. Last time we cried, I thought I told you it happened. It's been a while. I'd say probably like a month or a month and a half, maybe. I felt the need to cry, and so I was listening to Ariana Grande's "We Can't Be Friends," and I was doing some stretching in my room, and then it just poured out of me.
Wow!
I didn't tell you this?
Yes, you did tell me that.
Yeah,
I thought it was more recent though.
No, it's been that.
No, I mean I knew that was back then, but I thought you were saying that you cried more recently.
No, I've had the feeling to cry, and I've teared up a bit, but not actual cried. You?
I just remembered I actually teared up a little bit this morning because my boss pissed me off.
Oh no.
Yep.
You want to talk about it?
Sure. So sure, let's.
The most traumatic.
Now's my time.
The most traumatic thing that happened to me today. Let's go.
No, it wasn't traumatic or anything. He just pissed me off.
And you cry when you're frustrated.
Oh
or
yes,
upset, yeah.
I cry when I'm mad, and I hate that I do that, but it's just my body's way of trying to make me feel better. Because when you cry, your body releases endorphins. I don't know why my brain was like, you just said orphans, you dumb bitch. But I didn't. I said endorphins. Your body produces orphans. My brain tried to tell me that I was being stupid, but I actually said the right word. No, we've been having like a lot of IT issues at work lately, and
I saw you posted something about it.
Yeah, and we got quotes for a couple of IT companies to be like our go-to for like support, troubleshooting, whatever, when things like break or like we need something set up. And apparently those quotes were too much, and our owner turned them down.
What do you guys currently do for IT?
We do everything ourselves.
Oof.
Which is why it's so frustrating, because we're getting big enough to the point now where we can't handle it ourselves anymore. And last week we had so many IT issues that we ended up having to bring an extra pharmacist in to catch up on stuff. And we pay pharmacists a lot of money to do their job. So
you must have been paying an IT person.
Exactly. And so I've been talking with our head pharmacist, who agrees with me about like, we're wasting a lot of time. So actually I started a spreadsheet and started tracking how much time we're wasting on IT issues to prove how often it's happening, because I don't feel like our president or our owner even understands how often or like how much time we're spending on it. So I started a tracking of how long we're taking troubleshooting and then a separate tracking of how long we're taking either non-functional or partially functional at any given station. And so, or computer. And so I don't have on the top of my head, in 3 days, over 3 business days, we spent 2.5 hours troubleshooting. Over 5 business days, we spent 32 hours either partially non-functional or completely non-functional.
32 hours?
Over 5 days.
Oh, what? That's almost a whole, like, someone's work week.
Yes, exactly. And majority of the people who are affected by this are pharmacists, the people we pay the most to be there.
Huh.
So anyway, I told our head pharmacist about that, and she started to bring it up a little bit in their weekly meeting with the owner, and they were like troubleshooting ways to like try to fix the situation or whatever. And then on the way to work today, I was thinking, like, you know what? It would probably be cheaper to hire one IT professional on payroll. I'm gonna bleep that out.
In-house.
Yeah.
Oh.
I put my job's name, which is on my shirt, but
in-house IT tech.
an in-house IT professional. Just one. That's all we need is just one person who will learn our systems, who will learn how to troubleshoot it, who will be available to help us when needed, like on demand during our open hours, which is not that bad. It's literally Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And that is local, that can come in person to set things up when we need them to set things up. We're about to go through a huge workflow change right now where we're getting a new machine that's going to cause us to change from printing our labels the verification step to printing them at the filling step. And we're going to change labels. It's just all this IT stuff that like we would benefit from having an IT professional.
Yep.
So I'm like, you know what? Let me look on Indeed and see what people are paying IT professionals, like IT support specialists. $19 to $20 an hour.
That's it?
That's a fucking no-brainer. Anyway, that was the last time I cried.
Very unfortunate.
I'm very pissed off about that. I'm going to remain pissed off about it. And it makes me so angry. Okay, let's get into the topic.
Wait, I need to pause.
Okay. Today, we're going to talk about dialectical thinking, which we've also called duality.
Yes.
And its opposite, which is polarized thinking, black and white thinking, dichotomized thinking. There's a bunch of different words for it.
Yes.
All or nothing thinking. And it's kind of ironic that we're going to be talking about those things. They're polar opposites, but we're telling you not to think in polar opposites. You know what I mean?
Yes, and.
Yes, and. And our conversation will actually flow into growth and fixed mindset as well. So I've added some stuff about that as well. Angelica does not look happy about that.
Okay, can I give the definition that I found of dialectical thinking?
Yes, go ahead.
It's a way of thinking that takes into consideration multiple perspectives. In order to understand things more fully, we need to understand their opposites. So like two things or two feelings can be true simultaneously. It's like we said, duality.
Right. So what I was saying about opposites was, I was saying that, you know what? Never mind. I'm just going to cut that out.
Do you mean like where it says, like there's an example where it's like, it's raining and it's sunny?
No, I was just saying that it's ironic that we're like, you should actually practice dialectical thinking, not polarized thinking, which is the opposite of that. And that's really black and white thinking when you say there's just two opposite things. I don't know.
But see, that's where I get confused about a little bit on dialectical thinking, because it doesn't always have to be the opposite. Right. It could just be
two things that are true.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They don't have to be opposites.
That's what I was like. That's what I was getting the most confused of when I was doing research. I'm like, well, does it have to be opposite? Because some of these examples aren't opposite necessarily.
Right.
They exist in the same scenario, but they're not opposites.
Right. So dialectical thinking, actually, there's a form of therapy called dialectical thinking therapy or dialectical something therapy. Dialectical behavior therapy is what's called, DBT. So it's an actually really popular kind of therapy where you're sitting with your therapist, you talk about a problem, and you work through the problem, moving yourself from a black and white perspective to a fully well-rounded, bigger picture perspective where you can see all parts and everything. Kind of like one of our most famous parts of our podcast was when you were saying, you'll tell me like, fuck that bitch. And I'll be like, well, how'd she grow up though?
Yeah,
That's dialectical thinking, where you're like, fuck that bitch would be like a black and white type of thinking, like a polarized thinking, one extreme. And dialectical thinking would be like, okay, here's the full picture.
Fuck that bitch, but I understand she had a rough childhood.
Yes, exactly. And I understand she had a rough childhood, not but.
Yes, and.
So you always want to use, or you want to try to use and instead of but, because you're not eliminating the importance of the first thing you say, you are adding to. So, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, so it's important to understand that there are negative and positive components and that unwanted and wanted feelings are both normal.
Mm-hmm. Also, we talked about polarized thinking or black and white thinking in the cognitive distortions episode.
Yes, we did.
So this is just a more in-depth conversation about that.
Yes.
So let's, for the sake of the episode, let's call it polarized thinking, which is black or white thinking.
Okay.
I said black or white, black and white.
See?
This way of thinking can affect your perspective and cause you to see things as only good or only bad with no in-between. Yeah. If you experience polarized thinking, it can affect your mood, relationships, ability to perform tasks, and your self-image. Mm-hmm. So let's think about why they affect those four things. Your mood, okay? If you're at work and you're like, and you make a mistake and you're like, oh, I'm such a fucking failure. That's a form of polarized thinking. You're thinking in one extreme of being a full failure. That can affect your mood because then you're like, you think badly about yourself. And so you're going to continue to think badly about yourself. Have you ever heard of, what's it called? I think we talked about it in cognitive distortions too, but I forgot the name of it. But it's like, if you keep telling yourself that you're having a bad day, you're going to continue having a bad day. Or like, if you think you're a bad person, then your mind is going to search for confirmation bias. I think is what it's called.
Confirmation bias. Yeah.
So it's like confirmation bias, where if you say, "Well, I'm a fucking failure," then your brain is going to search for proof that you're a failure, and then so all you're going to see is your mistakes and your failures. You're not going to see any of the good things.
Yeah, this is why people say like how you speak to yourself is so important.
Exactly.
How you speak to others, how you speak to your children is very important. How you speak to your plants is very important.
How you speak to your plants.
Oh my God, have you seen my corn plant?
No, I didn't know.
The one in the kitchen?
I didn't know he had a corn.
The one in the kitchen?
I've been saying that a lot.
You have not seen the greenery coming out of that bad boy?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I'll show you before you leave.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Okay.
It hasn't grown new leaves in like 2 years.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, you pointed it out last time I was here last week.
It's been
I just didn't know it was called corn plant.
Yeah, it's like I think it's called corn plant, yeah.
Does it grow corn?
No.
Then why is it called that?
I don't know.
Stupid name.
Maybe because of the husks looking leaves? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, it does kind of look like the top of a corn stalk, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. Bad tangent. Okay, why would polarized thinking affect relationships?
Well, it kind of goes back to understanding the bigger picture and understanding like, okay, yes, my feelings are hurt, but yes, my feelings are hurt, and I understand your trauma behind that response.
Yeah. Or like, I personally am feeling abandoned right now, and that's based in my own trauma and not how my partner is acting toward me.
Yes.
Not, you're abandoning me.
Right.
Or not, you're a bad person because you walked away from the argument. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, when you have this black and white mentality, you're only going to accept that whatever you have accepted to be true, and you leave no room for anything else.
And they actually say, like, in dialectical thinking, your therapist will walk you through, like, checking the evidence, right? Ooh. So, like, if you think, oh, my boyfriend doesn't even love me, then they're like, okay, where's the evidence in that? Well, I really don't have any evidence that they don't love me. I only have evidence that they do love me. Okay, then that must be true.
How can you say, yeah.
Right. The next one, how can polarized thinking affect the ability to perform tasks? I think going back to like the failure, like if you believe you're a failure, then you're always going to believe you're a failure. You're not going to even try tasks. You're not even going to try new things because you think you're just going to fail it. And then how can it affect your self-image?
Well, again, yeah, how you speak to yourself is very important.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you think you're a bad person, you don't deserve anything good.
Yep. Or if you think you're stupid, and we'll get into that when we get more toward the growth mindset. If you think you're just inherently dumb, then you're never going to open yourself up to learn new things. And then that will hurt your self-image.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's good to practice like affirmations, like not necessarily you standing in a mirror saying these words of affirmation to yourself. Now that would be ideal, but even just every now and then, like celebrate your small wins as well.
Yeah. Have you ever seen videos that are like romanticize the little things in life?
Yes.
Like when you get up in the morning and you make your first cup of coffee.
That was the first thing that came to my mind. Like, I love coffee in the morning. Like,
yeah. But just like really be in that moment of making your first cup and taking the first sip and like enjoying that moment. Like,
imagine your life's a movie and you're the main character.
Yeah, main character energy, definitely.
Hell yeah. But not in like an egotistical.
No, just
like,
to enjoy your own
way.
life, not to try to prove it to other people. Like it doesn't need to be posted on Instagram. You just need to enjoy it for yourself.
Yes.
What do you have next?
I have here that going back to the unwanted and wanted feelings, that they're normal and that they're equally worth considering. Having dialectical thinking, it advances our intellectual abilities, so it improves our critical thinking. Kind of like how you said, like it allows room for other ideals, I guess.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, and one way that you can do that is you can have conversations that challenges your beliefs. So like with other people.
Yep.
So integrating mindfulness, so being aware of your thought process and where that comes from. And you can have ideas that coexist. So like, for example, this is going to be a little touchy subject, but like, I always think back how I have this coworker who, it was like 2020, the pandemic, and there was the presidential elections and stuff. And to me was having a conversation that challenged my beliefs and hers as well. But it's having those difficult conversations with someone who has a different opinion on you that allows you to understand where they're coming from. Or even just as simple as like, my boss hunts or whatever. I don't agree with that. I would never do that. I think that's horrible. But, you know, his argument will be like, well, at least I know where my meat is coming from. At least I know my meat is, for the most part, pure. And it's not like jacked up with all these hormones and, you know what I mean? Like, and I mean, it's hunting season for a reason. You know what I mean? Like,
I actually learned recently that some hunting is for animal population control.
That's what I was saying. Like, certain seasons are for certain animals because of overpopulation. And that's what he'll tell you as well. Like, well, there's a lot of them. So, have to keep it underneath.
I was going to say something to that. Oh, so if you imagine polarized things. So imagine a pole. Okay. So say an easy
like a
pole.
stripper pole?
No, I was going to say like your shower rod as a more easy like comparison.
Visualization.
And one thought is on one end of the pole, just the very tip. And another thought is on the other end of the pole. That's black and white thinking, polarized thinking. But there's 1,000 different thoughts from that end to the other end. That's dialectical thinking. There are so many different ideas to explore. Even if you don't agree with all of them, there are so many ideas in between that can be applied. And so when one end of the pole is I'm a failure and the other end of the pole is I'm the biggest I'm the biggest sex on the planet. I'm the biggest. What we've noticed recently that when I mess up words, I cannot redeem myself very quickly.
What are you trying to say? I'm the biggest
success on the planet. So one end is I'm the biggest failure on the planet, and the other end is I'm the biggest success on the planet. And in between is I'm a growing person with lots of ideas and lots of thoughts, and I have room for other people's ideas and thoughts. And some days I'm very successful, and some days I'm not, and that's okay.
Yeah, I've always thought to myself, like, if I could describe me in that sense, I'm not a very strongly opinionated person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not a lot of things that I think of myself and I'm like, no, I'm definitely this way or the other. There's a couple of them, but not really. Like, I'm fairly open. Like, sure, there's one side that I agree with more, or I tend to lean to more, but I'm very open to other like ways of thinking from other people and why they.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being in high school and thinking like, you know, and you don't really know what careers are necessarily and what they consist of. Like, you want to be a lawyer because you like arguing, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't arguing. You just like debating.
Right.
Like, you could see both sides, but you had to choose one or the other.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep.
Yep. But I also find myself drawn to not strongly opinionated people either, because I feel like if you're strongly opinionated on majority of things in your life, then there's no room for growth there.
Right.
There's not going to be those challenging conversations where we talk about each other's side or the way of thinking and accepting each other's way of thinking.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I think I'm slightly more opinionated than you on certain things.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I've noticed. Yeah, I've noticed a little bit.
But I don't think I'm unswayable. Like, you can sway me in a different way, or maybe
I don't think you're
budge me a little bit.
I don't think you're necessarily swayable, but I think you're very understanding. Like, you'll still stick to what you agree with, but you'll be like, yeah, okay, I get it, but still.
Yeah. I think the things that I'm very opinionated about are like people's safety and
the good stuff,
children's safety, and like things that are non-negotiable to me.
Mm-hmm. But what's non-negotiable to you is negotiable to someone else.
But something should not be negotiable.
Yeah.
Negotiable.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember that one post where it's like, we can have differing opinions, and it's like, sure, about like what belongs on pizza, but not like
human rights.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's kind of like that.
Yes.
Kind of like how you said.
Absolutely. Okay. My next section is signs of black and white thinking or polarized thinking. Using extreme terms to describe everything. Always and never. Perfect and failure. Easy and impossible. Perfectionism. You may think that you must do something perfectly or not attempt it at all. And that's where it connects to OCD a little bit, and we'll talk about that.
Oh my God. Going to Sophie's house and make sure everything was locked and make just like now I've realized if I'm going to do this tomorrow and Sunday, I have to have a ritual. Like, I'm already in my head. What's my ritual going to be?
Yeah.
What am I, some freak?
In somebody else's house. What am I, some freak?
My God, I hate that.
Inability to see either the good or bad in a person. This can lead you to believe someone must only be one or the other.
Ooh.
I struggle with this a little bit. I was actually telling Travis recently that I've noticed that in my life, when I meet people or people that I already know, they automatically fall into a category of like bad or good or like safe or not safe. And there's not really any in between. And then we were talking about it a little further and I was like, oh, okay, there's these two people and they are on their way from bad to good or good to bad, but like they have to end up landing in one or the other. Like they're not going to stay in the middle very long.
Like, you're going to make a decision about them soon.
Yes. Next one is negative self-talk. Since it's very uncommon to do everything perfectly well all the time. Perfect and well. I said, since it's very uncommon to do everything perfectly well all the time. If you're using black or white thinking, you might refer to yourself as useless or a failure.
I have a coworker that talks to herself like that, and I'm like, girl, stop. Don't do that.
I literally will call people out by doing it. I have. We know who we're talking about. I, like, maybe a couple of months after she started working with me, she was actually at my house and she was getting upset about something. We had a little moment, the two of us, and I said, hey, stop talking bad about yourself. I said, I noticed it. I notice it a lot. So I know that other people are noticing it. And I understand if you can't stop talking bad about yourself to yourself, but don't do it in front of other people. Because whatever you say out loud, your brain is believing it. So if you say I'm such a fuck up or I'm a piece of shit, your brain's believing it every time you say it.
Not only that, so like two things. This gets me thinking, like, if you're think about the times that they haven't said that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they've been saying it out loud so many times, imagine how much they don't say it.
Yeah.
And second, you also teach people how to treat you.
Yes.
So if you're over there calling yourself a dumbass, an idiot, stupid, then people are going to think you're stupid, dumb, like...
And they may not even think it consciously, but now subconsciously they will believe it.
Exactly.
Just like your brain is subconsciously believing what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Be nice to yourself.
Be kind to yourself and others. And your mama.
So...
Oh, he farted.
He did? He did?
Well, who else? There's only
you?
one.
Was it you?
Hell no.
So on Maria's episode, did we include the part where she was saying about like she thinks she has OCD and stuff? Did we include that? In the, okay.
Yeah. And then we thought that she has some kind of like, well, I thought it was some kind of organization, but you said something like you can't complete, or you have to complete something. I said she has
a completion issue.
Completion issue, yes.
I do think now that it's OCD.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Not my sister too.
Because my coworker at work who has OCD, I asked him, I'm like, do you feel like when you get in the shower, like you have to do every single thing? And he said, yes, like top to bottom, everything. And I said, okay, if you have like a little bit left in your shampoo bottle and then you buy another shampoo bottle, can you start the second one with before?
Oh, well, no, absolutely not.
And he was like, no, absolutely not.
Well, I just thought that was normal.
No, that's OCD.
What do you, hang on, hold on. Are you trying to tell me you have multiple shampoo bottles opened?
Mm-hmm. Different kinds. Yeah.
Okay, no. Because when she was saying, the way Maria was describing it, I was like, that's not really that bad. Like, I do that. But like, I didn't.
But you forgot you have OCD? You forgot you are the picture of OCD.
To me, it's so normal. Like, to me, that's logical. That's not even OCD. That's logical.
Would I prefer that my shower look like that? Sure. But I don't worry about it. I don't obsess over it. I don't make rules for myself not to open the next one.
Oh, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm getting really low. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to complete this shower. But you know what? In case I do right now, it's like I tease myself. Like, here's the new bottle right here on the edge in case I need it.
Yeah.
And if I don't, I'll just leave it there until I do.
Yeah.
And only will I open that once this is done.
I thought of another thing that Maria does that's related to this. Okay, so imagine Maria
I'm learning so much about myself.
Imagine Maria has, like, say, a little travel-sized bottle of lotion. Okay?
Oh,
and she's using the lotion, but it's, like, almost empty, right? She's going to, like, stick her finger in there and scrape out.
Oh, my God, me too.
The last of it.
Do you not?
Like, for butter, she scrapes she
I just thought that was on being poor.
I mean, OCD tendencies can be rooted in childhood. What's the word?
Poverty?
Poverty, yeah.
Oh, no, I scoop everything out to the last.
What do you think hoarding is rooted in?
Trauma.
And sometimes poverty, yeah.
Oh, my God, she has OCD.
I think she has OCD. Just a very different way than you do.
Well, I mean, yeah, so OCD, the common C's are those, but it could be...
Completion.
Yeah, it could be other
Could
things.
be the fourth C, completion.
It's rituals. So, like, if that's a ritual, then that's a ritual. Right. And if her brain is not... It did trigger me when she was like, there are these rules that I have for myself that I can't break.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, like, yeah, same. Like, I just cannot. Yeah. Cannot. I just can't.
So I guess that's a sign, too. Like, if you have rules for yourself that you can't break, that's a sign of OCD. Because I don't have rules for myself. I'd love to have more rules. Can I have more rules, please?
Poor Maria, girl. Mm-mm.
I haven't told her yet. I should probably tell her before we put this episode out.
Yeah, you should probably tell her. I'll tell her tomorrow if you forget. Yeah. Or if I forget, you can tell her.
Well, if you tell her and you forget, you can call me and I'll go over it.
I guess because she lacks the intrusive thoughts, which maybe she doesn't know what an intrusive thought, so she doesn't know how to recognize it.
That's true. I was trying to get to intrusive thoughts when we were talking to her about it, but then we changed the subject. But I guarantee you she has intrusive thoughts. She just doesn't know what they are. She doesn't recognize them.
I was going to say, she has a pretty high anxiety, and so she would just be confusing it with that.
Right. Part I have is 3 ways to change your thinking patterns. Do you have anything before we get to that?
I just have examples.
Okay.
Which I'm not really sure if they're examples, but...
Well, we'll do the examples after this section then.
Okay.
All right, 3 ways to change your thinking patterns. If you recognize your own thinking patterns in the descriptions of black and white thinking, you should know that it's possible to change how you think. Some ways to start this include ask other people what they think about various situations. It's always helpful to get another perspective on whatever's going on, and they might also be able to show you the nuance of the situation.
Yeah, so having those challenging conversations with people who have different
Views.
beliefs, yeah.
Yep. 2, take a long shit.
Take a long look.
Take a look at the words you use to describe things. See if you can replace always or never with sometimes or maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Just paying attention to the word you use can also make you rethink a situation.
Saying always or never makes me feel like a liar. So I feel guilty about saying it. So if I do say it, I'll immediately backtrack. I'm like, well, sometimes.
Yes. Me and Travis talked about this in the parenting episode when we talked about relationships first before we got into parenting and our rules for relationships. One of our rules was not to use always or never with each other. Like you never take out the trash. I think we actually use that exact one.
Because that's not true.
It's not true. You do take out the trash, but
you're just
not very often.
Yeah, you just mad right now.
Right. But
that's a good
to your
rule.
Partner, you're lying about them.
Yeah.
So then they're like, that's not true. Then it causes an argument.
Yeah.
If you were to say, I wish you would take out the trash more often, then that would be a better statement.
Yes. I like that. I like that rule.
3, look for evidence that what you're thinking is not correct. If you're thinking you're a failure, think of things you can do right. It may also be helpful to keep a physical or digital list of all your accomplishments. If you think someone is terrible, try to think of the good things they have said or done. Huh. That's funny because we have a list, me and you, not of accomplishments, but we have a list that you had to reference a few times to remind yourself of what is true and what is not.
Mm-hmm.
And that is highly recommended to coming soon to a podcast near you.
Mm-hmm.
My next section is, okay. So I was going to give some examples. So I'll just give some of my examples. We'll go back and forth. My first one is, my toddler has been very difficult lately, and toddlers have phases, so this one will pass. Why are you staring at me like that?
I was looking at Belin's pause, and then I came back and you said that. I'm like, wait, what are we talking about now?
We're doing our examples.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Say it again.
My toddler has been very difficult lately, and toddlers have phases, so this one will pass.
Do you want to go back to
your turn? Yeah, back and forth. That's what I said.
Oh, my bad.
She zoned out on us.
Okay. Again, I was having some trouble with some examples because I feel like they weren't really opposites, but they're both true.
Okay. Let's hear it and we'll talk about it.
I love my job and I love being off on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy what I do for work. I enjoy my coworkers, but I also enjoy my time off.
Well, I mean, those are opposites though. What you said was, I love my job and I love being off of my job.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Cool. But they don't have to be opposites, like you said.
Yeah.
My temper has been short lately and I'm doing my best.
Love. I also would use the same word, like the same adjective for each, verb for each and statement. I enjoy going to the gym and I enjoy lazy days.
Yep, that's good. Yep, that's good. I can recognize where my parents could have done better and they were doing the best they could at the time.
I love that. I love that so
oh my
much.
God, I love it.
I love it. So good. I seek adventure and I seek a good night's sleep.
Like that's kind of going back to the values episode. Like I value adventure, but I also value my bed.
Yeah, literally. Like, don't get me wrong. On vacation days, like I am up at 5, 6 in the morning. I'm ready to go. I would prefer a full day of activities versus just lying around.
Yeah.
But damn, do I love my sleep too. Like on non-vacation days, obviously.
Right. There's a time and place.
Exactly.
There's a time and place for sleep, and there's a time and place for adventure.
Period.
Okay. I need to be better at XYZ for cash, and I think I'm a good parent.
Oh, you are.
Thank you.
I can save money for the future and spend money on experiences with my friends.
That's good. My boss aggravates me sometimes, and I still respect them and enjoy working for them.
Ooh, yours are so good.
Thanks. I didn't think they were that good.
I think they're really good.
Thank you.
I have one more.
Okay. I have one more too.
Okay.
I had 6. Did you have 6?
I think I had 5. Yeah, I had 5.
Okay.
I value my healing journey, and I value sharing my life with someone special.
Ooh.
Damn, you sound like a
Sorry.
whistle.
Sorry.
Like, I understand, like, I'm learning and unlearning behaviors,
Mhm.
toxic behaviors, and, you know, learning to be by myself and healing and being independent. But I also crave and, you know,
Enjoy.
enjoy being in,
Connection.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm like mad-libbing your
Yeah.
your sentences.
Yep.
Okay, my last one. I could have handled that interaction better, and I forgive myself.
Oh, so nice.
Ow, that
Oh my God, you're so nice. I love that for you. Oh my God, I said that to my coworker earlier. I said, oh my God, I love that for you. She goes, stop being so sarcastic.
That wasn't sarcastic.
I know. I was like, no,
I mean, you can use that phrase sarcastically, but that wasn't.
yeah.
When you say, oh my God, I love that for you, that's sincere. If you're like, I love that for you.
I
That's
know. I didn't say
It's actually harder to say it sarcastically.
Right. And she actually inspired me. So, like, expired me.
She actually expired me.
She inspired me. And so I told her, I was like, I almost said her name, but girl, like, I am a very witty and sarcastic person, sure, but like, come on, like I wouldn't.
That was sincere.
I wouldn't say that to people. Like if you're genuinely showing me something that brings you joy,
Right.
I would not say I love that for you, like in a sarcastic. Like I genuinely love that. Like I can see the happiness on your face.
Yes.
And I love that for you.
Yes.
Truly.
Okay.
All right.
Back to the podcast. We are back.
We are back.
We are back.
Back and better than ever.
Something like that.
Amen, sister.
Amen, brother.
Honestly, I think I could talk like this for a whole podcast. Like, have my lip lifted like this and have a little lisp. Like, I can't really close
We are
my
off the rails. It is midnight.
Wait. You don't think that's good?
Mm-mm.
Post it on Facebook so everybody can see now, make everyone jealous. Come on home,
I'll
hun.
put a pot of baits on for you.
Take a picture of me like this. Does that look good? Post it on my Facebook.
Don't
Wait.
cry because it's over. Smile because it led you to his brother.
Hashtag keeping it in the family. Wait, I gotta give her props. We just like,
Yeah.
oh man,
We're quoting a hillbilly
name-
parody.
her name is Amanda Meadows on Instagram, and she's hilarious. You guys should go check her out.
She's like Jane Dirt.
Yes,
Like Joe Dirt, sister.
But Jane Dirt.
Okay, back to the podcast.
Does that look good? Posting on my face. Sorry. She's so funny.
So here are some more examples that some of you may struggle with black and white thinking and how to change the narrative on each one.
Also, Kelsey, you over here complaining about me going on tangents. Would you rather this or me fall asleep?
Tangents.
Alrighty.
Okay. I am the worst parent ever. That could be changed around with I am having a tough time with parenthood and I'm doing my best. Everyone hates me. My relationships are tumultuous and I'm working through it. I will always be depressed. My mood really stinks today and tomorrow could be better. What can I do to make myself better at this time?
Aww.
Aw, these are not about me. Did you hear that?
No, I know.
Okay.
No, I know. I know. Other
I'm like, maybe she wasn't listening again.
No, I just meant like, I feel like when you get into a depressive episode, you feel like this is gonna be this is it forever. Like this is just how I'm gonna feel.
Absolutely.
And it's hard to get yourself out of that funk.
Yes. The next one, I am a failure. I made a mistake and I can learn from it and be better next time. My whole day is ruined. This day kind of stinks so far and I can make it better by blank. I will never get this right. I am having trouble and I have the ability to learn new things. What am I missing? Who can I ask for help? So it's almost like instead of giving up and going to an absolute,
Mm-hmm.
you find a solution.
Yep.
Or you find a middle ground, or you find a way to give yourself grace.
Yep. I love that.
Okay, so let's move on to growth mindset versus fixed mindset. So if you don't know what this is, so if you don't know, if you don't know what this is,
You can do an accent, but I cannot. How the hell is that? Is that okay? How the hell, Kelsey? How the hell is that okay? I don't know what kind of accent this is, but how's that? How's that okay?
It's getting worse. It's just falling off more and more as you talk. Mindset versus fixed mindset. So a growth mindset is how much you believe your basic qualities like intelligence and talent can be changed or developed. A fixed mindset is how much you believe your basic qualities are fixed or permanent. So it's kind of like what I was saying earlier by like, if you think you're dumb, that's a fixed mindset. You think like you're just inherently dumb and there's no changing that. Or you think you're inherently smart and there's no changing that. A growth mindset would be like, well, like, yeah, I'm smart. I can learn new things. Like smart means I can learn new things, not I know everything. And so a growth mindset would assist you in dialectical thinking because you will always be searching for other parts of the equation and being able to see the gray areas and being able to learn from your mistakes and change them and not be stuck in one failure or success or what have you. So it says it can keep you from learning. I'm bad at math. Most math teachers hear this proclamation over and over during the school year. It's the product of a success or failure mindset or fixed mindset, which is a natural outgrowth of a grading system that defines failure, scores 0 to 59 as over half the grading scale, which is crazy. Some courses even have a simple binary to measure learning, pass or fail, one or the other. It's all too easy to fall in dichotomous thinking, which is the same as polarized thinking or black and white thinking, about your academic accomplishments. A growth mindset, which is becoming increasingly popular, encourages students to recognize incremental progress towards mastery, to see themselves moving closer to being able to do what they have set out to do. So if you think about it, it's kind of like the conversation in schools today where it's like, we're doing too much testing our students and not enough developing them. If we're constantly testing them, all we're saying is you're either failing or you're succeeding. You're either passing or you're failing. There's no concentration on growth or learning, actual learning and not test taking.
Well, test taking, I think, also breeds memorization versus actually
understanding.
And understanding the material.
Absolutely. I would say the majority of what I have done on test taking is memorization, and the majority of what I learned in high school was memorization. A lot of what I learned, I didn't retain it, and that's the problem with it. Is if you memorize it, if you memorize it, you don't retain it. But if you fully understand it and enjoy learning it, you will retain it.
Yes.
And so nowadays, like people are trying to push more towards, focusing on growth mindset in schools and in raising your children. But I'd say the problem with public schools specifically with not testing as much is they get funding from their test scores, basically. So how can they fund a school if they can't prove that the school is doing well?
Well, that's what's difficult about it too. Like even if you have what did you call it? Thinking, growth, development,
growth mindset.
Something with D.
Dichotomous.
No. Oh shit! I lost my. Even if you have a growth mindset when it comes to like understanding the material versus just like memorization, the problem with that is still is how do you measure if they are actually understanding
without taking a test?
Exactly.
I think maybe just less tests.
I think less tests, and I think that more tests should be verbal.
Yeah.
Ooh, I might get it like. I don't know, burned at the stake for saying that.
Yeah, I mean, I think also
Like, have a child explain to you why it
Yeah.
is the way it is. Like, I know that's not, like, realistic. And I know that's not, like, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I just think maybe a verbal test here and there.
Well, I think also having a concentration on school actually being fun. And I know there's a lot of teachers that really, really, really focus on making sure that school is fun because they know that their students will retain it when it's fun. But
Shout out to those teachers.
But some teachers and some schools do not think that that's important at all. They would prefer things be black and white, yes or no, good or bad, good student, bad student, A+ or B+ or C+ or D, you know what I mean? Like one or the other, instead of focusing on, are the kids having fun while they're learning this?
You know, the more I learn about mental health, the more I find myself going back to my childhood and being like, oh yeah, my mom was a person, is a person. Oh yeah, my teachers were people who had their own mental issues and things happening in their lives, and how did what was happening to them affect them doing their job for me.
Right. Yeah. I think about that sometimes too.
Oh God. We're all just fucked.
Yeah. Okay. The next section I have. I'm just going to read through this really quickly.
Oh, really quickly.
Those with a growth mindset view the world in a completely different way. They believe that intelligence is something that can grow with effort, learning, and perseverance. Those with this mindset believe that your traits and behaviors can change. They embrace learning a new skill, trying a new thing, or taking a chance because they believe in personal and professional growth. They focus more on effort as opposed to results because results are not permanent. They are also more receptive to constructive criticism because it is an opportunity to learn more about themselves and gain additional insight. People with growth mindset believe their potential is endless because they continue to work on themselves. They will find inspiration and encouragement from the success of others. They will continue to work towards goals while valuing hard work and progress. People with this mindset are more likely to challenge themselves in every aspect of their lives because they feel that growth is possible. That's all I got. So let's talk about why it's important to raise your kids with a growth mindset. And this is a hill I'll die on. This is one of those things that I won't budge on. I think it's more important to raise your kids with a growth mindset than a fixed mindset, because what you're telling them is them being themselves and learning who they are and learning new things and exploring the world is more important than any grade, than any success or failure, than any opinions of other people. If your child grows up believing that success and failure is the most important thing, that grades are the most important thing, that the opinions of other people are the most important thing, then they will always be running towards a moving goalpost. They will always be running towards trying to make sure that they are impressing you and living up to your standards instead of learning who they are.
Or being themselves.
Understanding who they are and what they want out of life. And then they just let other people tell them who they are. Do I need to say that again?
Well, also, too, like, if that were the case, then, I mean, they say, like, your 20s are meant for, like, you know, mistakes and errors and finding who you are. But imagine if, as we're growing up, as, you know, throughout our childhood, we already had an idea of who we were. Maybe we'd understand more of, like, you said, what we want out of life. We'd have more people confident in what they want to study.
Yes.
Or what career they want to go into, what relationships to get into once they're old enough to have those.
Absolutely. And what they want out of those relationships. Not just what the other person wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've touched that on many episodes before where as teenagers and young adults, we should be more encouraged to learn who we are over what we're going to do in college or what we're going to do for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Or whether or not we're going to get straight A's or whether or not we're going to pass our SATs. Like, yes, those things are important, but they're not the most important thing. I don't give two shits about my SATs now. I'm 30 years old. I haven't thought about my SATs. I haven't thought about my SATs I haven't thought about my SATs in 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't matter.
Yeah.
They do not matter. But you know what does matter is me understanding myself and my mental health and the people around me. And if I would have understood that a little bit sooner, then my life might have been a little bit easier.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And everybody's lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do we have anything else?
Happy Pride Month.
Yes, we're going to do a Pride Month episode next.
When you're here, you're gay.
When you're here, you're gay. You got your head on gay.
Not straight.
I texted Angelica and I said, do you want to do the research for the Pride episode since you got your head on gay? If you don't know that reference, go back to the last episode.
Which we're still, deciding on what we want to talk about. Obviously, we are presenting heterosexual.
Cis women.
Cis. Okay, what does cis stand for?
It doesn't stand for anything. It means in your original biological gender.
So weird. Why is it cis?
I don't know. I will have to look it up.
Were you the one that sent me the Rihanna video?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like right now. Like,
Bolin. Stop it.
He stopped. He listened to you. Yeah. Also, my dog has been humping the fuck out of his bed and biting it. So if you have any tips on that, that'd be great. Thank you.
What were you saying about Pride? And we don't know what topic we're doing.
I mean, we have ideas, but obviously we don't know from firsthand experience what that's like. Those experiences that people who have experienced that with those experiences.
Rihanna.
I was gonna say, Tyler the Creator, how dare you bring me a birthday gift on my birthday for my birthday party? My birthday party gift.
I haven't seen that.
No.
I was just gonna say we're gonna try our best to honor the LGBT community as best we can, and whatever we missed this year, we'll do next year, and every year we'll try to honor it the best way we can.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. It is 12:25 a.m. on Saturday morning.
I did it.
She did. Angelica made it without falling asleep.
Yeah. Without any coffee or energy drinks.
Her eyes aren't red anymore. All she needed was some Lifesaver gummies. So we're gonna have to stock up on those.
Hell yeah. Ooh, Blaine keeps licking my feet.
Oh shit. All right, y'all. We'll see you next week.
Oh, don't forget to buy merch.
Oh, yes. Go check out the merch store. It looks so good. And we're going to keep adding more stuff. So,
Photo shoot coming
it's
soon.
cheap. Look how cheap it is. Go look. Go look right now.
I guarantee you it's cheaper than your other influencer, quote unquote.
Hell
brands.
yeah.
Just saying. And
the quality's good.
Yeah. And the design's good. Kelsey did it. And you're doing it for the matriarchy. I mean, come on now.
Yes. And we said this in the last episode. We're not doing this for profit. Obviously, that's why they're so cheap. We're doing this so that you can spread the word about the podcast that you love. So,
amen, sister.
Amen, brother.
I don't care anymore.
Yeah, brother.
All right,
Have
a great weekend. We're going to see you next week.
All right, y'all.
Okay, bye.
Bye.